This week, we all went a little mad. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait, you guys went mad a long time ago. And that's a fair comment. But this time, we went mad for a very specific reason. And it wasn't just any type of madness. This was a madness that took you on a whimsical journey and left you wondering what was around the next corner, maybe ended with a few laughs. Curious? Well, you should be. Stick around because you're about to discover how deep this rabbit hole goes. And don't forget, if you're enjoying our videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, The Ladysmith Manor Diaries, to ensure you see all our videos as we put them out. But first, let me show you what we've been up to this week. So I've just taken my Bridgerton wedding dress off this mannequin that was been sitting here in the front hallway. And I've actually put on the underskirt that I used at the wedding because I'm going to be creating this mannequin now into the Queen of Hearts for our Mad Hatter's Tea Party this weekend. So I'm starting with this kind of fairly blank canvas. I've got some greenery already in there, some flowers already in there, but I'm now going to be putting together, I have some ideas in my head. Not sure whether they'll all work, so I'm going to trial and error till I figure out and put together something that I'm happy with. So let's get going. My mannequin is looking pretty naked right now. I wanted the skirt to be something special. So I'm using my underskirt from my wedding dress. And I have got these really, I've enlarged the playing cards that I've got from Alice in Wonderland. So I've got some that have got the characters on, some that have got the just the hearts and the diamonds on, and I'm printing these out, and I'm actually going to make the skirt from the playing cards, in theory. So I have it in my head how it's going to work. We're going to see whether actually it comes out exactly as I envisioned, but yeah, I'm going to start pinning them on and hot gluing them on. I'm going to pin the first row on the skirt, and then I'm going to hot glue the rest of them to the other paper so it doesn't hot glue onto the skirt, and we'll see what happens. One of the things I love about themed events is the opportunity to create something special around the theme. And with our Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party theme for the afternoon tea this weekend, I have been really enjoying finding creative ways that I can add to my decor. And I picked up this dice. It's actually, it's designed for drinks. It's a drink cooler. But I thought this would be perfect for the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. So what I've decided to do is I've filled it with floral foam, and I'm actually just gonna add on the top some moss. So basically you can't see the foam. Hiding, moss is always good for hiding things. So I'm gonna put a layer of moss, let me put that piece on the top, it's a good piece. In here. And if you've read the Alice in Wonderland story, you will remember, there we go, you will remember that the Queen gets her soldiers to paint all the roses red. So I thought that it would be kind of a cool way to add something. So I've got the floral foam, so these will stand up in here. So I thought I could put my roses into the dice here, and then I can paint them red and add a paintbrush into it as well, just to kind of represent the story, the parts of the story. Where should I put that one? I'll try that one over there. So I'm actually putting in the roses first because I figured that it's actually easier to paint them once they're in here than trying to paint them before. So I'm gonna do some, I think, that are red, and then some that are, so there's, let's say, there's our roses. I think we'll do it on an angle like that. And then all I'm gonna do here is move them around a little bit. I feel like sometimes you have to play with things until you kind of get the right look. And these are actually going to go outside in the entrance hall. So when people come in and they choose their teacup, this is the display that will be greeting them. So I've just got a paper plate, and I'm going to put some red paint on here. And then I just picked up I think these were on clearance at Michael's, just some of the paintbrushes. And what I thought I could do was obviously use them to paint, but also then put some into the floral foam as well. But obviously I probably want it with the red on, so I'm going to paint. My gosh, I've never painted. These aren't real, by the way. I assumed you figured that out. I just bought some artificial roses, again from Michael's, in their clearance. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it so I'm not gonna paint like the whole thing. If you look in the illustrations in the book, let's see here. If you look at the illustrations in the book, they never have like the whole rose painted, but it's kind of that cool idea. That's the thing about Alice in Wonderland. So quirky that you'd actually paint your flowers, right? So I'm gonna do some on this one. So I've left some white because obviously you want to be able to see, I want to be able to see that it was a white rose. But I think actually they actually look better than I thought they would look. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paintbrush, and I'm actually going to, now I've got paint all over me. Maybe we'll do a couple of paintbrushes in here. Just with the red on. And they can be kind of part of the display, right? Actually, I think I'm gonna turn that one around. So I'm gonna put the bigger one in the middle. I'm gonna put the smaller one down here. I think maybe we'll do one more. Maybe a different shape. Let's do one that is kind of this shape. It's a slightly different shape. Oh. There we go. Oh, now I'm getting paint everywhere. Okay, so I've got my roses with the paintbrushes in my dice, which actually I think looks really good. So I'm gonna put that outside. So that will be part of my display when people outside in the hallway. So when you come and collect your teacup, you will see the painted roses. And then I'm going to move on to my next project. I've been trying to decide what I'm going to use on my tables for the afternoon tea, for kind of centerpieces. And I've decided on a stack of teacups. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've picked out kind of all different mismatched teacups. So the saucer doesn't match. I've done an assortment of different sizes, and basically I'm stacking them so they're kind of, oh, let's do that, there we go. So they kind of look like they're almost gonna fall over. And then the top one, I've put some floral foam and some moss in, and my plan if this works, is that we have the stacked teacups, and then I found these fabulous cards, playing cards, but they're Alice in Wonderland. So there's the regular, but there's also these ones that have got the Alice characters and pictures in, the vintage looking ones, which I love. So I've actually, I purchased the graphics and I've just printed them all out. So I've got a whole stack of all the different cards, the hearts, all the different ones that I'm going to use at different places around the manor for decoration. But I want to add them to my cups. And then I also found these. So they're hearts and they kind of just look like green grass. I found them they came in packs. And what I've decided to do, I think I'm going to use this on top. So I've put on, they actually came with little small sticks, but I've just used skewers that I found, you know, for food skewers, kebab skewers. I've cut them down a little bit and I'm going to put them in there. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the red and one of the picture, and we're basically going to attach them onto here, and then this is going to sit on top. So my first step is to I'm going to put a tiny little bit of hot glue just on the inside of the teacups, just so they don't wobble too much. That will be fairly easy for me to get off afterwards. These, I've actually chosen teacups that are not ones that I use for drinking tea out of. I have so many teacups that these are all kind of the older, some of them are orphans, they don't have saucers. So these are not my regular teacups, but yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue so they're secure. Then I'm gonna hot glue this together and we're gonna put it on the top and see what it looks like. Okay, that's good. It's actually quite secure. It's definitely not gonna fall over, but it's not gonna wobble and tip over by accident. Okay, so next step is I've got my heart. I've cut this down to about the right size. I'm gonna put that in the top here. And then I'm gonna get my two cards. First card on. And then the second one, I think we're gonna do just a little bit at an angle like this. There we go. The thing about Alice in Wonderland, everything's topsy-turvy. So I want it to have that kind of feeling that everything's kind of falling over or not quite in the right spot. Oh, glue. Let's get rid of those strands. Okay. So, the other thing I've also got is, if you remember in the story, Alice plays, or they play croquet. And they use flamingos as their croquet bats. Are they bats? I'm not sure what they're called. But anyway, the things that you use to play croquet with, they actually use flamingos. Now, I couldn't find any flamingos, like croquet, but I did find these little flamingo, they're kind of like glitter pieces. So I think we're gonna add onto this a few of the flamingos. And I'm just deciding whether we put them on the moss or whether I put them down here in the saucer. Let's have a look and see which. We'll try a bit of both and see which one we think looks best. I actually really like them in the moss because they kind of stand up. So I've been able to actually put them so they're almost standing up, which I think looks really fun. So yeah, it just is just a little quirky, which I really like. One done, 10 more to go. And you can't have a Mad Hatter's Tea Party without having the potion that Alice drinks that has the little tag that says drink me. So I found these really cute jars that are actually shaped in hearts. And I am gonna use some food coloring. I'm just gonna color my water because I want it to be, well, it looks kind of orange, not very pink, does it? Yeah, I want it to be kind of fun looking inside this jar. And then I have some little tags that say drink me that I'm gonna use some twine, and I'm just going to tie it around the neck of the jar, and I'm gonna use that for my displays. This has actually worked out quite well because I thought that having the hearts, it would be nice to have red water, but I only had pink coloring. But it's turned out and came out pretty red, so pretty happy with that. Put the cap back in. And then let's get some twine. Here we go. My Alice in Wonderland drink me bottle. As you can probably hear, I'm a little bit under the weather right now, but I have to say that I am loving this sunshine today. It's definitely cold still, but the sunshine is so beautiful. It makes you feel so much better, and I am so hopeful that spring is almost here. We've had some beautiful days, and then it keeps snowing again. So I've got fingers crossed that the sun will stay out and it will just get warmer. But I'm really excited about next week, because next week we are going to be announcing a big announcement. And I know that many of you have been asking me about this year's summer market in July. It's the 19th and 20th of July, if you haven't got the date already in your calendar. But you've been asking what our theme is going to be. And to be honest, this year for both Christmas and summer, I have had a short list. I've had some ideas and I just couldn't decide. I couldn't decide what was going to be my theme. And then a few weeks ago, it came to me. So I have now decided what our theme will be for the summer market. And I'm going to be announcing that next week on our video. So you will be the first to hear. Really excited. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. I've already started planning and I've got ideas. It's going to be such an amazing weekend, as are always markets are, and I can't wait to share it with you on here, but also for you to come and visit and enjoy it in person if you're in the New Brunswick area. So that's going to be our big announcement next week. We also, now the weather's getting nicer, we have lots going on as we move into summer. And so over the next few weeks, we will be sharing more of our plans for both the pub and the ladies and the manor. Our afternoon teas have been completely sold out there. The Christmas afternoon teas are selling out quickly as well. So if you're looking for Christmas afternoon teas, jump on in and get your tickets now, because I know they're selling very, very quickly. But this summer, it's going to be beautiful. The beer garden is going to be back open and we have lots of plans, and I'm going to be sharing them with you over the next couple of weeks. Stephen will be back. He hasn't gone anywhere. When I say he's back, he's not, he's just down in the pub. But we will be doing some video together and get back to sharing all our stories and our adventures and what's going on here at the manor with you each week. I think for now though, I'm gonna stop talking before I lose my voice again. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee in the sunshine, and then I will be back with Stephen next week for our next episode of the Lady Swift Manor Diaries.